Hello class. We're going to go ahead and review your semester breakdown or your course selection now that you've selected your classes to answer that question of how long it's going to take to get you from IVC to your transfer goal. So we're going to go ahead and hit next here. You're going to see that an error message comes up saying that my plan is incomplete. Let's go ahead and see where that star is, if you will, that tells us where the errors are. For me, in area 6 here, it says my language other than English, which is that only a UC requirement has not been met. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and account for this area by sending an official high school transcript to admissions and going to the counseling center to demonstrate that I took 2 years of the same language in high school and got a C or better in order to meet that requirement. Area 7 is a Cal State grad requirement. Again, not required to transfer, but it is a grad requirement. A lot of students just go ahead and take those classes at IVC instead of a CSU because we offer them for a more affordable cost, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes, saying that I'm aware of the errors that are there. Now I'm in the plan your schedule breakdown. Step 1, select your target completion course. Date, I selected 3 years from now, 2017. You can play with the completion date to see how many classes you would have to take each semester, if you will. Step 2 is when you're selecting the actual courses, if you will. Under select a semester, you would select the term under which you want that course applied. And then on the right here, plan courses. A couple things that you'll note here, it's broken down by the different years. You'll note that in parentheses is the number of units you have in that specific term. As a point of reference, we know that the maximum number of units you can take without needing approval is 19 units. After, if you wanted to take more than 19 units, you would have to submit a petition to the counseling center, to the dean of counseling. We know that full-time is 12 units, 19 is the max load you can take without a special petition. Most students are in that 14 to 16 threshold each semester. When you're looking at taking more than 19 semester units, really look at where your GPA is at, and we're really looking at quality over quantity because you don't want to rush to take more classes if you're just going to get all C's and D's in them, if you will, really keeping that in mind. Now, when we're looking at course selection, you'll find that a lot of students make the error of, oh, this is easy, let me go ahead and just drop classes in a term. No big deal. MAP is still a computer program, so it does, have its errors, if you will. I encourage you to build your plan sequentially by the different areas. When we're talking about prereqs, we know those are classes you need in order to get into different areas. So I went ahead and populated this for my English, my writing sequence. Most students, this might be your sequence, it might not, but as you see, I populated it. For example, in fall, it has me taking reading 371. The co-requisite for that was 370, so those classes automatically dropped in there. Okay, the next one that I would be taking the following semester, because I can't take it without taking the previous class, if you will, is writing 301/380. So you see the prereq here was RD 370. I took that the previous term. The co-req was 380, which I also have there. The following term was in the summer. I took writing 201/280. I saw my prereq, so it was either 301 or ESL 81A. Fall, finally got to my courses account for transfer, writing 1. You see the prereq as was described there was writing 201. And then writing 2, of course, the prereq for that was writing 1. Really keep in mind here those prereqs. Again, a lot of students rush and just populate their plan. You can't take a course without taking those prereqs and co-reqs. Really take that time out to factor that within your plan. Let's go ahead, now that we saw that, let's go ahead and populate our plan. So I always recommend first populate your English classes. Secondly, populate your math classes. Now as you see, I've populated as well my math sequence. Again, not just completing a whole term, I went ahead and spread that out over the life of my plan. So as you see in my example, I was starting at the lowest class, if you will, within math. When we're looking at this component, it had me at 351 pre-algebra. The next term, I was able to take elementary algebra. The prereq was 351. Then in summer, in this example, I was able to take Math 253 Intermediate Algebra. The prereq, again, noting was a Math 353. For summer, an important component. I personally advise students never to take more than 2 sets of classes, around 8 to 9 units, because your summer term, as you know, is a lot shorter, so it gives you less time to learn the material and play catch up when you get behind. So that's my suggestion. Do take advantage of summer, but really try to avoid taking more than 2 classes so you can get those higher grades. So 253 in this case. That allowed me to take the following fall Math 124, which was trig. Again, depending where I placed, I may have placed automatically into Math 124 or Math 2 or what have you. In spring 2016, I was able to take Math 2 Pre-Calc. As you see, that's a 5-unit course. And then in summer, Math 3A, which was a 5-unit course since I completed the prereq. Those were the different math courses that were required for this specific major. Now that I've got that populated, I'm going to go ahead and go back and start to build in some of my different general eds and some of my major prereqs as well. So, as we're continuing to look at the different examples, you'll see that within fall 2014, I'm taking 13 and a half units. So I went ahead and populated my Bio 1 and my 1L, which take care of my general ed. Anytime you're taking a lab in your lecture and a lecture course, as you see the lab here is 1 unit and the lecture is 3 units, you really want to try to take them as much as possible within the same semester because of course the material informs one another from lecture to lab. It's not required that you take them in the same term, but it really makes that process a little easier. I went ahead and also populated, in this case, a philosophy class for 3 units that got me 13 and a half units. I know for financial aid, needed to be above that 12-unit threshold, so we were able to fulfill that. We're going to go ahead and populate a couple more classes in spring 2015 as well. Moving right along here, you'll see in spring 2015, we're at 14 and a half units. We went ahead and populated our Music 27 class. Actually, excuse me, it's going to drop it back in there, but we'll go ahead and drop it back into 2015. Music 27, which was 3 units, and then Geography, which was 3 units. That got me to 14 and a half units, which is a good average mark that we're looking at there. Again, the classes that you're populating per term may look differently. For this plan, I didn't populate anything else in summer since I had focused in on just taking 2 classes, really fulfilling my writing and my math. Within fall, I went ahead and also populated a political science course and a computer science course, so that got me to about 13 units there. As we're continuing to work here, we see we got about 9 more classes that we need to take care of, so we're going to go ahead and drop those in the remainder of our plan. For spring 2016, we went ahead and also added an economics class. and then also our Management 104, which got us to 15 units. We're going to continue to build our plan as we're jumping into the third year of our plan, as was the case in this student's example. For summer, we're going to go ahead and not add classes there. We were taking Math 3A, and since that was a 5-unit class, we decided to only take that term. Moving right along here, in fall 2016, we selected Economics 2, Accounting 1A, Communications 1, and Management 12A. As you see, we don't have any more courses that are unplanned. Spring 17, we took Accounting 1B, and then we also had a placeholder here for another course that we needed to fulfill. Remember, the placeholders you can use when you're not sure of what class you want to take in a certain area. In this case, that was for area 3A or 3B when we were looking at an additional course that we needed to take there. So that's a general overview of how you build your plan. Keeping in mind a couple things again, always being mindful of your prerequisites. Can't emphasize that enough. I would recommend that you first lay in your English classes through the life of your plan, then your math classes through the life of your plan, and then go from there when you're building in your major prereqs and any other general ed. Because again, when I'm looking at grading the next portion of your plan, I want to make sure that you paid attention and followed the different sequences that you have there. Make sure that you're asking questions with that component. Another thing here when we're looking at this plan, the fall 2016 in this individual's plan would be a busy semester for him because they would be applying a transfer in fall 2017, so they would be submitting their application in fall 2016 as we've reviewed in previous classes. So always keep that in mind when you're looking at building your plans. With that component. Also jumping ahead, the term that you're graduating, let's say for this student, if they were completing a GEDC, the term that they're graduating, they could also apply for a GEDC or a CSUGE, or if you're doing an AAT, or if you're looking at TAG, within the fall semester of fulfilling the appropriate deadlines to get your applications for any of those certifications for TAG or for general ed certified, you want to keep in mind the different deadlines that are that occur every term. That's going to be something you need to keep an eye out for. Of course, you may not remember that right now, so the best thing that I recommend in order to make sure that you're compliant with that is our transfer center every term offers a variety of workshops that covers the nuts and bolts of the application process and what you have to do in order to complete those requirements. So as we're looking at that, all the classes are completed. I'm going to go ahead and click on next here. Your academic plan summary, you can go ahead and again at this portion I want you to just email me and tell me that your plan is done. I'll go ahead and check that for you as I did with your first draft. There's also a neat component here that might be helpful for you later if you're meeting with the counselor. You can come in and click on finish to generate a report. You can go ahead and print out a plan of your work when you're meeting with the counselor, even if you just want it as a point of reference. As you see, all the classes are broken down here that meet the different areas, what semesters you're taking them as well. So you're able to print that out. You're able to jump to the different pages. You see where the different classes fall within the different terms as well as on the previous page. It listed whether a class is a major prep or prereq or a co-req as well within your plan as well. So it's important to be familiar with that. Again, that's a brief overview of your semester breakdown. That's what you should be doing for the next portion of your assignment if you haven't done so already. If you have, go back and double check your info. This is a very important component of the class, so please email me or post any discussion questions about this. Want to make sure that you're comfortable with this portion and familiar with prereqs and course selection as well. Thank you very much.